Well, I think I've just heard Danny Shine's voice, so I'm going to head over there now. Am I right? Seems he's really hijacking this event. Yeah, here we go.
As much as you let it. That's what you like to think, isn't it? Of course. We have a question here. Hold on, a question, yes? Okay, an interesting question here. Who is paying me? Interesting question, yes, indeed. And how much, you probably want to know as well, don't you? There you go, you now know. It's 30p and it's from him.
Pay the man!
Oh, we're getting some more. We're getting up to 40p so far. Okay, fair enough. Hold on a second. Hold on. Okay, before your question, we've got some more questioning from this lovely lady here. Can I just ask what your name is? Rose, and your date of birth? Just for MI5 purposes. Don't worry. Don't worry. If you've got nothing to hide, you've got nothing to fear. Did you fill in the census form? Yes, you did. You very good little girl. You wonderful. Yeah, no problem. You just let me know when it starts. Sorry, your question was? Oh, transparency. What is my name? My name's Danny. For those of you who want to know what my name is, just ask the police officer up there. He knows very well. Okay, thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen. The General Assembly is about to start. I do recommend it. It's quite an interesting process.
Now, and everyone gather around over here so we can conduct our precious General Assembly meeting. Thank you. Talking to all of you guys that are staring at me, please come over here. Thank you.
Can I ask people at the front to sit down, please? So everyone can see. Thank you, including the media. Okay, let's start then. Right, how many of you have been in a General Assembly before? Just put your hand up, just to know. Okay, thanks. The General Assembly happens twice a day, once at 1 o'clock and once at 7 p.m. every night. Right, the process is simple. If you have a proposal, what you need to do is go to a process meeting which takes place at 10 a.m. and 5 p.m. every day. Put your proposal in, discuss, and then it comes to the General Assembly to discuss from all of us. As a camp, we're working with what is called consensus. I'm sorry for the people who already know this stuff, but I need to explain for the people who have been here just today. Yeah, we're back. Okay, sorry, the mic tech problem. Yeah, we're gonna. Okay, process. Right. I'm going to demonstrate how we use the hand signals during the consensus process. If you agree with a proposal or an idea, put your hands up and, yeah, that's the one, I agree. If you have a point, put just one hand up and you're waiting to be given permission to speak. If you have a direct point, this means that you want to make a point direct to what has been discussed right now. You put two hands up. If you disagree with an idea, that's the signal you need to use. If you want to block, and this is quite important, you should really think carefully about blocking a decision. Is this signal, you're using this signal. You must be aware though that you really have to think before you put your hand up like this. Blocking means that the debate will have to continue. The discussion will have to go back to working groups, discuss the whole thing again, because you strongly have an argument which suggests that this idea that has been said will have a major impact on the and there's one more. Yeah. Stand aside, which means that you disagree, but you want to go along with the group. Right, a good point. If you want to stand aside, you're going along with the group. If you want to block, you may be likely to leave the group, which is usually the case. What group am I from?
Yeah, I haven't seen you down here before, sorry.
It's fine. I'm working with a tranquility group sometimes with a legal observation.
I just find it funny how most of the people that decide these rules are not actually from here, but the people that are supposed to be called the
I can't hear you.
It's the nationwide problem. It's shot at 12 o'clock when people are working through the night to ensure there is no fires, no shortages, and no outdoor.
Thank you. If you have a proposal, go to the process meeting 10 a.m., 5 p.m. every day. Thanks. We need to keep going with the General Assembly. Sorry, I'm too slow as well. Don't slow the process. Have to keep going. Okay. I just want to further announce that we need volunteers for the working groups. Tranquility team, legal observers, and many groups. I think there are around 30 groups are working for this camp. Okay, we're going to keep going with announcements now. If you want to make an announcement, please come on the mic.
Hello, I've got an announcement. It's got two parts to it. One's a bit negative, and I'll get that out of the way first, and the other one's potentially positive, but I'd like to get a temperature check from the General Assembly. Can everyone hear me? Okay, so I've been working with a few different groups, but I've been putting LED lighting into some of the tents, and we need quite a lot more LED low energy lighting in the kitchen, info tent and university tent, which is something that I'd like to try and make happen. I'd like it to be powered not by AA batteries and generators like it is at the moment, but by solar power. And I'm talking to providers of solar panels and other necessary equipment to try and get this sorted out. Okay, it's great that everyone's waving their hands. I'll just tell you the negative bit now, which is that unfortunately some of my lights that I've already put up and donated have gone missing and been broken and possibly stolen and possibly wires cut and strange things like that. So if I'm going to do this, I'm going to need some people to help me make sure that these things stay secure and get well looked after. Okay, so I'll obviously have to go to the finance group because although I'll get some of this stuff cheaply or donated, it is going to cost money. So temperature check, who thinks it's a good idea for me to try and get this sorted out, solar power and LED lighting? Thank you, I think that's enough to carry on with the project, and I'll come back to you to let you know how I'm going.
Okay, we have agreed on the lighting. Are there any other announcements? Okay, now working group announcements.
Brothers and sisters, very good to see you again. I'm Mohammed. I'm a member of the Church Liaison Group, chaired by a number of our brothers and sisters here. And I'm going to speak first, and then my brother Michael's going to speak, Matthew's going to speak as well. Essentially, we had a very busy meeting today, a very full meeting, and some really strong emotions came through from the side of the cathedral about our presence here and some of the issues arising. So, and I just need to say, some of them were actually in tears under the pressure. One of the key things that came out, which I guess I, as a religious person and others will share, is the sacredness of the building itself. I need to share with you, brothers and sisters, that there's somebody defecated in the cathedral. And that's an absolute desecration of a house of God that we all respect and honour, and we condemn this utterly, I hope. Likewise, there were real concerns from the cathedral side about activity that takes place on what is actually the sanctuary of the cathedral, which includes the steps of the cathedral, without their permission. So the actual fabric of the cathedral is different from the space around it, and I totally honour the democracy that we have here, and I just come pleading with you to perhaps consider that we terminate activity without consulting with the church, terminate activity that takes place on the steps of the cathedral as of now, immediately. I was just thinking, if this was a mosque, and if this happened to a house of God, in my tradition or in the tradition of those of you who hold to a faith tradition, how would I feel? I think that was the first thing. As part of good news, there are some discussions. We're not at this stage given liberty to say more publicly, but we would like your permission to be in conversation with the cathedral about the possibility of them showing solidarity with us. Check. Of them showing solidarity with us by putting up a tent inside the cathedral, as a measure, as a statement of their spiritual solidarity with us and their concerns, which they share, and their expression of their concern for the same concerns that we have. But as part of that, we really need to take on board their message. They felt very passionately about us respecting the sanctity of this space and always never being supremely careful not to desecrate the house of God on the one hand, not to desecrate the message of Jesus Christ, which is what those people out there are doing. Thank you very much.
I just have a quick clarification point. It has not been determined who did that, and it's not necessarily related to our camp. So I just wanted to clarify that point as well.
All right, guys. Mic check. Okay, just a couple of points, really, just to reiterate on what Mohammed said. Okay, all activity at the top of the steps needs to cease. Okay, no one should be playing football or any other various activities, and
What roles?
yeah, no ball rules basically. Okay, the bishop doesn't like it. Okay, so we should respect that. We should respect the church. We should respect the church. Not everyone here is religious. I'm not religious, but I still respect other people's views and other people's beliefs. Okay. Another few points to take. Everyone needs to be responsible for their own personal space. That means if you see any rubbish that's collected up around your tent, please pick it up, take it to the appropriate bins. Okay? Just that's all I'd like to say. Thank you.
This isn't a kindergarten. We know we need to keep away from it. We're adults. Sorry,
Check. Can we actually...
This is the process.
I would like to remind everyone that if you have a point, it's good to put your hand up and come on the mic, which you'll have the opportunity right now. Actually, it's a good theme to discuss now. I would like to get a temperature check on stopping the activity, terminating the activity on the steps. How do people feel about that? Any disagreements? Can we have clarification, please, on the point?
Okay, basically, it is absolutely crucial that we have the church on our side in order for us to maintain this occupation, alright? So, we should respect the church's wishes for any certain activities to stop, okay? If someone was doing this at your house, you would not like it either, and if you really didn't like it, you would want them to stop. You should respect other people's wishes. Alright?
Anyone likes to make a point on this? Who's going first? Yeah.
I'm feeling like it would be useful if it was clarified what activities have been pointed to as not allowed up there. Because is sitting allowed? Is chatting allowed? What activities aren't allowed?
Thank you very much. Very important point. I apologise for not clarifying that. I think can you hear me? Can you hear me? Yes. I thank you very much. I think conversation, the normal kind of things that happen when we are not here, tourists and other people sitting down, having lunch, doing regular things that the criteria would be what the kind of things that people do when we are not here. Tourists being on the steps, having their lunch, having conversations, discussing our GA, that kind of stuff. But activities such as holding formal meetings, holding protests on the steps, banners being displayed on the steps, games being played on the steps. I think we're talking about cinema and stuff being played out through speakers on the steps. I think we're talking about the difference between the sanctuary of the cathedral, the fabric of the cathedral, and the rest of the space around it.
Yesterday we had a live stream to Syria, and I think that's much more important issue than whether we play ball games on the steps or not. They're suffering massively over there, and we should stand in solidarity wherever it is. It's ridiculous that we're talking.
I just want to clarify this basically. This is sanctified ground, and whether or not you believe, out of respect for the fact that the cathedral are working very hard with us to try and facilitate us being here, we have to work with them too. I mean, we're asking for people to open a dialogue on the social injustices and economic injustices as issues. But we also need to be able to have a dialogue on a level that deals with us being in this place and with the cathedral being here, and we're on their doorstep. And it's a simple thing of just really understanding that they cannot function on the way that they need to on a day-to-day basis unless we can facilitate them being able to do that. We're working together with them. They're not the enemy. They're actually trying very, very hard to help us to stay here. And we need to respect that. This is a sanctified ground. And we just need to respect that in sanctified ground, we cannot have activities that go against the grain of the nature of the sanctified ground itself. So basketball and cinemas and people having talks and things on the steps sort of as an organised thing, other than obviously our General Assembly, they need to stop. And especially at night time, we cannot have anything on the steps at night time, because really it should be a peaceful time for people. So that's all we're asking.
The Corporation of London are going to find it very hard to debase our message. Social justice, equality, tackling the financial problems. They will find it very easy to debase our movement if people come and do a shit on the steps of sanctuary ground, if they spray on the walls. I do not for 1 second believe any of those acts were committed by people who are here, but it is very easy for it to be pinned on us if we then use that space. I don't see it as being told not to do it. I see it as we as a community selectively deciding not to feed the trolls, not to allow the Corporation of London and organisations to make cheap points against us when this is not what we are here for.
Hi everyone. I'm just thinking that this church at the minute is under so much pressure. It's had pressure from us. It's now been extremely helpful to us. This church has had its whole system completely questioned. They're now having to question their own ways of working and their own belief systems. They're trying so hard to accommodate us individually, never mind an organisation, but as individuals, that must have been so hard for all of them. And I think we're behaving